We rely on water for absolutely everything, right? We drink it, we cook with it, we bathe in it. But what if the very water coming into your home is hiding a really significant health risk?
It's a question we almost never ask ourselves. I mean, you turn on the faucet, you just expect the water to be clean and safe. It's a given. But maybe it shouldn't be. Maybe that automatic trust we all have is a little misplaced. Because there could be a silent contaminant flowing right through your pipes as we speak. So today, we're going to get into it. We're going to talk all about the hidden danger of lead in our water, where it comes from, the very real health risks, and most importantly, what you can actually do to fight back.
All right, so let's start at the beginning. The problem doesn't actually start at your faucet. Nope, it begins way before that, on the long, secret journey your water takes through this huge and frankly ancient network of pipes.
And when I say ancient, I am not kidding. Get this. Some of the water pipes running underneath our cities are up to 120 years old. Think about that. They were put in the ground at a time when we just didn't understand how dangerous materials like lead really were.
So your water travels through all sorts of materials. Pipes made of iron, zinc, copper, even plastic. But the one we really need to worry about is lead. These aging, deteriorating lead pipes, that's ground zero for the contamination problem.
Okay, so we've established there's lead in some of the pipes, but how does it get from the pipe into your water? It's not like little chunks are just breaking off. It's actually a specific chemical process. Let's break down the science of how this actually happens.
The main culprit here is a process called corrosion. You can basically think of it as the pipe slowly breaking down from the inside out. Chemical reactions between the water and the metal start to eat away at any protective lining. And once that's gone, the lead from the pipe itself can literally dissolve and leach right into your water.
So let's walk through it. Water flows through the pipe. That movement kicks off these little chemical reactions. Those reactions start breaking down the inside of the pipe, and boom! Lead is now dissolved in your water supply. The scariest part? It's a totally silent and invisible process.
And it gets even trickier. A whole bunch of things can actually speed this corrosion up. We're talking about the specific chemistry of your local water, temperature shifts, how old the pipes are, even the disinfectants your city uses to treat the water can make corrosion happen faster, letting more lead get in.
And here's a really crucial point. This isn't just a problem for people in old houses or cities with ancient pipes. No way. Even newer homes can have lead in their plumbing fixtures, the faucets, or in the solder used to join the pipes together. This is a much more widespread risk than you might think.
Which brings us to part 3. And honestly, this is the most important part of the whole conversation. Why does this matter so much? Well, the health consequences of lead exposure are incredibly serious, and a lot of the time, they're irreversible.
I mean, this quote really says it all, doesn't it? There is no safe amount of lead. It's a powerful neurotoxin, which means it's a poison to our nervous system and our brain. Any exposure at all carries a risk.
And what might surprise you is how it gets into our bodies. It's not just about drinking a glass of contaminated water. You can actually absorb lead through your skin when you're taking a shower. You can inhale it in water vapor. And of course, it gets into your food when you cook with that water.
The long-term damage it's severe. Research has linked lead exposure to this terrifying list of health problems, from various cancers and neurological damage to major issues with your kidneys, your liver, and your heart. Even low-level exposure over a long time can add up and cause lasting harm.
Now, lead is dangerous for everyone, but there is one group that is uniquely vulnerable. We have to be really clear about this. Children under the age of 9 are at the highest risk, and for them, the consequences can be truly devastating.
And here's the critical reason why. A child's developing body absorbs lead at a rate that's 4 to 5 times higher than an adult's. Their systems are growing so fast, especially their brains, and they're just incredibly susceptible to its toxic effects.
So for a child, lead exposure can mean things like permanent IQ loss, learning disabilities, behavioral problems, and developmental delays. And these are not temporary issues. This kind of damage can alter the entire course of a child's life.
Okay, I know that was a lot of heavy information, and it's pretty scary stuff. But knowing the risk is the first step to fixing the problem. So let's switch gears and talk solutions. Let's get into how you can actually protect your family, because there are absolutely things you can do.
So here are 5 key strategies. First, get your water tested so you know exactly what you're dealing with. Second, a simple but really effective habit, flush your pipes.
Just run the cold water for a minute or two before you use it for drinking or cooking. Third, speaking of that, always use cold water for consumption. Hot water can cause a lot more lead to leach out of the pipes. Then, for more permanent fixes, you can look at replacing old plumbing or, number 5, installing a high-quality water filter.
Now, when it comes to filtration, the source material we looked at highlights one particular kind of technology as a great example of a more complete solution. It's called the T-18 Water System, and it uses what they call a dual-action approach. So here's the key difference. A conventional filter, it'll remove lead that's coming into your house from the city supply. That's good. But this T-18 system is designed to also treat the water inside your own home's plumbing, which reduces the leaching from your pipes. It's tackling both potential sources of contamination.
And to prove that it works, the system has been independently tested and certified to meet really rigorous public health and safety standards. This basically means it's passed a ton of tough tests that confirm it does what it claims to do, remove contaminants like lead.
You know, ultimately, this is the main takeaway. We so often think about water quality in terms of how it tastes or if it looks clear. But the real issue, the invisible issue, is all about protecting the long-term health of the people you care about most.
So, we'll leave you with this final thought. Your water is fundamental to everything you do at home. After everything we've just talked about, the question is, how certain are you that yours is truly safe?